So yeah, last time um, I didn't push the record button. I was looking at the timer on the top, and I'm like, oh shit. And the funny thing is, every person I spoke to get insight knowledge on podcasting was like, you're gonna fuck up the first podcast.
Got to, got
Yeah.
to.
And I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I've been doing the solo stuff. It's super easy. And then, yeah, sitting down with you, I'm like, ah, yep, fucked up the first one. So, and then when you said, let's run it back, I'm like, no, let me see what I could play with. Cause it wasn't that far into it. And then on top of not pushing record, yeah, the microphone, my microphone was just all out of whack. I couldn't fix it. So,
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always a good time talking, so it's all good.
yeah, I figured because we connect almost weekly, at least
Hmm.
bi-weekly,
Yeah,
So, and
yeah.
now since you're my coach and I'm in your program, it's it's kind of a
Yep.
must now.
You got a little
So,
check in after this.
oh yeah, absolutely, man. That's what, bro. I am so sore. Like I haven't
Mm.
been sleeping, and I went to my TRT doctor and I was telling him, new program. He knows the program I'm on with you. And when I'm feeling it, just being that 2 months off, and I'm sleeping at nighttime and I'm just like recovering and sore,
Yeah.
my body does not let me sleep at all.
Damn.
So I'm just
Just
waking up hella,
tossing and turning.
yeah, trying to get comfortable. Legs are the big thing. When your legs are sore, you can't walk. So
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't get off the toilet. Um, and the other thing, um, I always drink a lot of water, but now I'm
Mm.
monitoring that 1 gallon a day. Sometimes I got a pound, a good amount the last 4 hours of the night. And that's
Yeah.
just, I'm up at night going to the bathroom. So, so yeah, everything's going real smooth and real good. But yeah, that 2 months off from the hernia surgery, yeah,
Yeah.
my body's like, yeah, yeah, let's go. So,
Little trick with the water,
mhm.
try to front load it. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up, that way you're titrating down towards nighttime, not building up.
Yeah,
Because
that's what
otherwise,
I'm.
yeah, you're gonna be up all night peeing. I feel you.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been feeling that. And when I front load it, the problem is I'm running around. So I'm like pulling into gas stations, or luckily my jobs have like a porta potty, or half our remodels done. But yeah, it's a win. It's a lose lose whatever. It's like it's either
Yeah.
I'm running and trying to find a bathroom during the day, which is much easier because I'd rather get sleep at night. But
For
yeah,
sure. For sure.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling it. I'm
You'll
liking.
adjust.
Yeah, I'm liking the program though. I'm definitely liking
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
for
I'm
everybody
excited
that,
once you get a little bit healed up, to start getting these reps in the rep range that we're talking about. But we'll go over that later.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, How's everything going with you and the family?
Good, man. Just getting ready for this move. We got our tickets and everything yesterday. Found a place. A couple of spots were like falling through, so the past couple of weeks been pretty stressful. Um,
Mm,
but we ended up finding a new spot, so everything's locked and loaded. Let's see what else happened. My sister-in-law had a baby
yeah.
yesterday, so we were down in San Diego. Rushed up to OC, went to go see her. So it's been hectic, but nice.
Is that your kids' first cousins, or they got other
Yeah,
cousins? Oh,
yeah.
it's their very first cousins.
Oh, no, no, no. I thought you meant like first cousin, but nah, we've got four right now. So this is the youngest.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
they got cool, cool. So you go back and forth. You take the family from San Diego to Cincinnati year on, year off, or 6 months, you said?
6 months, 6 months, but I think we're gonna do a year and a year, just because it's a lot of moving parts and it happens so fast. So probably spend a little bit more time in one spot.
And then figure out where you're going to lock down
Yeah,
eventually.
eventually.
What do you, yeah. What are you leaning towards, the sunshine or the Midwest? Is
Probably the
Cincy considered the
Midwest, man.
Midwest? Is it
Yeah,
considered the
yeah,
Midwest? Okay.
it is. Yeah, yeah, but probably Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
Any
It
reason?
ranges. Uh, the vibe there in general, like the people, uh, the diversity, all the stuff we that goes on over there, and then my family's out there, so and then my wife likes it a lot better as well. So we'll probably
Does she?
put some roots down over there.
Good, good. Yeah, there. I like San Diego, but I could never live in San Diego. Like
Yeah,
Lena, she loves San Diego. She's like, if I could live anywhere, it'd be San Diego. I'm like, are you sure? Like,
yeah, that's
I like the
crazy.
sunshine and all that, but I'm just, California in general is, I enjoy it, but it's not like my place.
Yeah,
I like Seattle just because of the nature. I like four seasons. You know,
yep,
we
yep.
might only get 3, 4 months of 80 to 90 degrees, but I'm cool with that.
Hmm.
I want a little bit of everything. So
Yeah, no, I feel
yeah,
you. Same thing with the Midwest. We like seasons too. So I remember when I first moved out to Cali and like uh doing Christmas and like there's palm trees, no snow, nothing. I'm like, what is this? Like
does it even feel
palm
like a Christmas?
nah, palm trees wrapped in Christmas lights doesn't count, bro.
Yeah, yeah, no, that I do want to experience like a Christmas in Hawaii, uh,
Mm,
just because I'm older now. But I'm like, yeah, one year I just want to go to Hawaii for Christmas and see what
yeah.
it's like. So I probably won't like it, but yeah. So,
Worth the
so
experience.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, round two of this podcast. So thanks for circling back on this. Yeah, I just want to get into all the depths of you being a dad and, what built you to become the dad you are. And I think first and foremost, that's your childhood.
Mm,
So give us a little bit of backstory where you're from, how you were raised, how your father was, and yeah,
yeah.
all the ins and
Um,
outs.
yeah, I'll try to condense 32 years in a couple minutes. Um, but yeah, man, so I was born in Alaska. My dad was military, so I was born on base. Um, then we moved to North Carolina, then Maryland, then Virginia. And then we settled there for about 10 years. The time I was like 7 to 17, 18. So I kind of grew up there for the most part. Um, growing up, my dad was, uh, how do I explain it? He was present, but like he was around. Obviously, my parents were together, but he was always kind of doing his own thing. So we didn't spend like a whole lot of time connecting and stuff, unless it was like sports related or something like that. Um, I wouldn't say our relationship was like tumultuous, but there was definitely like tension, and like resentment too, based on like how I saw him treat my mom. Um,
Mhm.
some stuff that had happened like with us and my siblings and stuff. So, um, but yeah, it's crazy to think something can be like all good or all bad, you know? So I definitely took a lot from it, and there's definitely some things I'm gonna leave on the table for sure.
Yeah. What have you taken from it? It sounds like your quality time was only sports related, which
Mm,
a lot of kids like myself in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the fathers only seemed present when it was sports. Other than that, they were just working, come
yeah,
home, do their thing. Okay, sports, do their thing. So I can relate. I can definitely relate with that. So
yeah,
sound like you're feeling like you're only possibly getting that love and support just because of sports.
yeah, yeah. Through like performance and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. Definitely feel that, man. What did you bring from that? What did you bring from your dad as like the good side?
yeah. So the good side, we have this saying in our family. It's called, well, amongst the men, and it's cut rougher, and basically that
Mhm.
just means not necessarily to compare yourself to other people, but just your identity, your mentality is I do this because I'm cut rougher, and all that means is I'm capable, whether it's hard, whether it seems impossible. This is just who I am and what I do, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So it's something I've also passed down to my son. Like the other day, we've been telling him that since he was came out the womb, man. So the other day, he was at the park. He's 2.5. Um, he like fell down the slide, started crying for a second. Some other kid came to check on him. He's like, "Are you okay?" He like looked up. He's like, I cut rougher." Brushed himself off and kept it pushing. And that meant a lot to me. And it's not necessarily just a physical thing, not, you got to be this macho, tough person, tough guy, whatever. It's just like an identity as far as, overcoming and resiliency and stuff like that. So I'm definitely taking that and passing that on.
Absolutely. No, I think building a child's mentality is as early as you can
Hmm.
is definitely ideal. That's one thing we do with Cypress, or I have done with Cypress. Like every morning, try to, you know, not pound into them, but speak, positive affirmations, like, you can do anything you want. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in life? And we go over all that. And at 6 years old, almost seven, he's a pretty confident kid.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I love that,
just
man. I feel like I actually read one time that, how we speak to our children is going to become their inner voice, as they grow older. So you see people who grew up with like, real overbearing or critical parents, and their self-esteem is shot. They're anxious all the time. You can
hmm
always tell. You can tell the difference when someone grew up in like a loving, nurturing environment, obviously, and then someone who didn't. As far as how
yeah.
they see themselves, So I think that's
hmm
awesome.
hmm Yeah, and to piggyback off that, coddling, you can
Mm,
you can definitely see when, kids are coddled. Like your
yep.
son falling down, getting up, I'm cut rougher. He's to me, yeah, that's a mental thing. Like he's cut rougher. He's normally when a kid falls down, I feel like they're not hurt because from A to B of their fall is tiny. It's a
Hmm.
way different from your ass being what 6'8" falling
Hmm.
from A to B.
Right.
So 99% of the time, I tell parents, your kid's not hurt. They just got scared.
Yep.
And so I tell, kids I coach when, they fall down or take a soccer ball to the gut, are you hurt? Or are you scared? And every time they go, I'm scared. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yep.
So yeah, it's all mental with these kids. They
Yeah.
can take a beating. So they come home with
100%.
bruises and they don't even know where they got the bruises. Like, oh, Si, like where'd you get this bruise? He's like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, so yeah, it's all mental. But yeah, coddling is a huge thing. I think is a almost like a is the thing that bothers me right now with parenting is how
Yeah.
much parents don't allow their child to go through the ebbs and flows of life. Like they pick
Hmm.
them up through everything. They get in a fight, they go to the other parent, which you should, but it's just the blame game.
Right.
My kid getting bad grades, it's the teacher's fault. It's there's no accountability that's getting put on these kids. And that's more
Right.
so teenagers. But yeah, yeah. What
No, but
so oh go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say that that's definitely true. I feel like it'll be well intended, like, oh, I need to protect my kid, and but it goes too far because when you're not around, then what? There's no safety guards, no bumpers to make sure that they're okay. They need to have that within them so that they can be all right by themselves, So it's like
Mm-hmm.
well intended parenting going wrong for sure.
Well-intended parenting going wrong. Absolutely. So you have two under two.
Yeah, yeah, 2.5 and then 10 months.
All right, 2.5 and 10 months. Rye and not Sai. That's what we call ours.
Zay.
Zay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So Ryan's and you and your wife have been together for how long?
Coming on 10 years.
10 years together, married for.
Well, sorry, coming on 10 years together, married for 9.
Oh, okay. So you guys got married pretty quickly after you guys met.
Real quick.
You just knew.
Yeah, real quick. I think I proposed like 6 months after we met.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and then we were married 7 months later after that.
Quick. So you guys
Hmm.
waited. You guys waited quite a bit of time before you guys had a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean,
That's
I was 23 and she was 21. And I mean, we were ready to be married, but we both knew damn well we weren't ready for kids. we were we weren't developed yet, so we were like, we're not gonna, bring a kid into this. So, and I'm really happy we decided to wait too. Um, Gave us a lot of time, like just with us, and
Yeah.
you know how it is once you add kids into it, it's hard to, manage the marriage and the kids and work and all that stuff. So, um, I feel
Yeah.
blessed to have had that time with just her for sure.
Yeah. Your us time is pretty slim to none.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it's hard to get us time. So I feel you on that. Do you guys get much us time?
We try to definitely try to be intentional. It kind of depends on the season, So like
Yeah.
right now with us moving and everything, I'm hustling. So the season right now, not so much. Um, but hopefully soon.
Yeah. Cincinnati with more family sounds like you get more us time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. When you became a dad, when you became a dad, what was the first thing you had to stop lying to yourself about?
Mm. Stop lying to myself about.
What was your
I
biggest personal change?
say probably my work ethic. Um, I wouldn't say that I was like lazy or anything before I had my sons, but I think maybe my effort might have been misdirected, if that makes sense. I feel like once your sole purpose is to, raise a child and provide and protect, um, you got to make damn sure that all your energy is going into that. So I feel like a lot of times, well, I wouldn't say a lot of times, it's not uncommon to see dads once they have their first kid, like kind of find their groove or, get into a career path that, really takes them to the next level. And I think it's because it gives you that direction and that, you know, directed purpose, I guess.
Yeah. Your your change, um, because we're going to talk about your physical transformation
Mm.
because it's mind blowing. And I'm going to need some pictures so we can, upload them on some of these clips so people can see where you went from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Your discipline, what did it change before your first son? Like
Yeah.
that body transformation?
Yeah. That started before. Um,
Okay.
so it's funny because I talk about me and my wife knowing we weren't ready. Let's see, I got on my fitness journey probably about a year before we had Zay. And leading up to it, I finally got to a point I was like, all right, like I'm ready. And then sat down, had the conversation with her. It's like, let's try for a kid. And it wasn't just because I was getting into shape. I had been going to therapy, obviously in the gym, and just working on myself like from the inside out. So it was like, all right, like let's do this. So they weren't necessarily the catalyst to get me where I'm at now, but it definitely keeps me going.
That's smart. So unlike unlike a lot of people who just have a kid and aren't even remotely close to mentally ready, you came into the situation with your wife and said, "Hey, I think we're ready to do this and add this to our life, our relationship."
Yeah, yeah. Just because I had seen what it looked like when you don't think about it and you just
Yeah,
have kids without being ready. So I was like, I'm not going to go that route. Let me make sure, I'm physically and spiritually and emotionally, in a place to where I can like provide, not necessarily financially, but just with my nervous system, a safe and reliable place for, someone else aside from my wife.
yeah, absolutely. So I tell a lot of people, I think it's one of the most selfish things you can do is have a kid and not be prepared. Because
Yeah,
kids, they're not asking to be born and brought into this world to a shitty parenting situation,
right,
you know?
right.
So, kudos to you for doing that because that takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to understand, like, okay, if I'm bringing a kid into this world, one, I'm taking a back seat to everything I want, and two, I got to
Hmm.
be prepared for the rest of your life. It's not just till they turn 18.
Right.
It's even after they're 18, they're still going to be relying on you for this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when you say um, you witnessed people around you, are you specifically talking about your parents or even friends and family that were having kids, a couple years before you guys decided to have kids?
Just then I was talking about my parents.
Oh, okay.
But even beyond that, like my parents, my grandparents, and then other friends and family around me. It's just like either one, not a whole lot of thought into having the kid, whether it was like preparing for it, um, or two, just like willy nilly doing it and not, I guess not caring. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
about the situation that they're coming into. It's just like, oh well, we're in love, let's have a kid, and it's like, maybe maybe you should stop and think about that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I see that with your videos where, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like obviously you care a lot with everything that you're teaching Rye at
Mm,
his age, cooking the eggs, sitting down, looking at your computer, talking about finances already and, work and putting that into his brain. That stuff I think is huge for kids to see, especially witnessing their parents, you know, constantly putting themselves through uncomfortable stages in life like you every day structured.
yeah,
It's the standard. They don't know anything else. Some
right,
kids are born into chaos and that's all they live until
yep,
they're 18 and then they're thrown into the world and like what the fuck do I do now? So,
exactly.
yeah. So you got an extreme amount of structure built within your family.
Mm, yep.
What is And I love how you and your wife are on the same page because I can see both of you guys, living the same example for them. Do you see um, how it's shaping your sons right now?
Yeah, yeah. And what's funny is kind of to your point as far as them not knowing anything else, like as a dad or whatever, like sometimes you don't know anything else. So if your family,
Yeah.
your family unit is structured, that's all you know. It's like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is how everybody functions. Like our kids are doing okay. And then you get around other kids who aren't structured or who are in chaos, and you're like, on my kid's worst day, like I'll take that like all the time because
Hmm.
we just spent some time around some other kids the other day, and it was just like, um, not listening, temper tantrum, which is okay within reason.
Hmm.
I think that the structure provides a lot of safety for kids. So when we're providing that for them, they just act better in general.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, we had that with Cypress. He'll slip up. I mean, there's the ups and downs with a kid, and as they turn 5, 6, they want to see what they can get away with. He
Mm,
doesn't really push those boundaries, but when he messes up, he knows he messes up. Like he'll straight up say, like, "Am I in trouble?" And so now I'm realizing he's saying that, and I don't want him to say that. And so what I'm doing is when we sit down at dinner and he has a rough day at school, or he does something out of the ordinary, we say, first thing, "You're not in trouble." What did we learn from this? What can we do
mm,
better? So we try to turn it into an educational piece because, like we are saying, it's all mental. So they
yep.
think that they mess up every time and there's repercussions. That's going to build anxiety. So
Yep.
right now I'm trying to nip in the butt like, hey, you made a mistake. What did you do wrong? And I ask him questions. I don't tell him really what he does wrong. But we
Hmm.
on top of that put, some we'll say no, no TV for, the whole week, which is fine because he's so busy with sports and everything else that there isn't really TV time, but he knows not to ask. Or in the
Yeah.
morning, it's like, hey, that 30 minutes, you don't get TV for this week, because, you know, you got to learn your lesson somehow. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah. So structure's huge, man. So good for you
Mm.
on that. So, what was the scariest thing it sounded like you were prepared to be a dad, but I mean, it's human nature. Once the the test, whatever they call it, says
Peace
you're about to
stick.
have a baby. Yeah, the pee stick. says you're about to be a dad, it goes from, yeah, I want to be a dad to like, oh shit, this is about to be real. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
what was what was the first emotions, feelings, thoughts?
yeah. So I'd probably say
Pregnancy test. That's what it's.
right. I'm over here like a pea stick.
Yeah, it's a pea stick.
um yeah, so I say biggest fear at that time was probably uh I mean like any of us kind of make sure we don't repeat any mistakes that we had seen. Obviously want to be able to provide um and just I guess being what he needs. I was kind of like I've never met this person before. Let me make sure we click, we vibe. Um, because I think parenting comes down to not just having your own sets of values and standards, but kind of understanding who your kid actually is, and how
Yeah,
those two fit together. Because I think it can look a little different. Like you can get to the same goal, different ways.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Going off that, you don't know what your child's going to be because you have something like, I wanted Cypress to at least be hoping he's into sports because I'm a sports guy. We're a sports family. And luckily he is, but sometimes I think like, man, what if he was like, Dad, I don't want to play any sports. How would I feel about that? Like, how would you feel if your kids get older and like, Dad, I don't want to work out. Highly unlikely they're going to not work out because, typically they follow suit, which I
Hmm.
found. Um, but that was the big thing with me is like, man, what if my son doesn't like anything that I like? And
Yeah.
he likes this and this and this. And I'm just like, I do not want to I don't like any of this. Like, am I going to resent him? So that was what I was scared about. Like, am I going to have a kid that is totally opposite of me and I'm going to
Yeah.
resent him? So,
Yeah.
um, don't see too much of that. I know I have a couple of dads that are huge sports guys and their kids are definitely not into sports and it is hard on them
Hmm.
because they want to go play baseball, go do this, go do that, but their boys are just like, no, I'm good. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to wrap my head around that, but that'd be one tough thing for me to wrap my head around and
Yeah.
adjust to. So
Yeah. Trying to meet them where they're at for sure. I
yeah,
remember
especially.
because my sons are kind of big. So Zay's 2.5, and he's I think about 4, almost 4 feet. Um, Raya, who's 10 months, is already in like 2T clothes. Like they're big kids.
Well, I
So
wonder
people,
why.
right? People ask like, so what if your sons are like they want to do water polo or they want to be a ballerina? I'm like, they better be the best damn ballerina that I've ever. If that's what you want to do it. But you
Hmm.
better do it good. You better go all out. Type of mentality. So I definitely feel you on like what if they were opposite, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, whatever they choose, they better be good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where the structure comes in. Like you can do whatever you want. I tell Sai all the time. One of the team I coached last night's practice, I was talking to one of the other dads, and Sai is going to try out for a select soccer team. One of the kids I coach made the select soccer team, and we're talking like, there's a balance right now. Are we pushing the kids too much? Like, we still
Mm,
want them to be kids. Like, come home, play in your room, Legos, build trains. But some kids, like Cypress, a couple kids I coach, they just want to, they just want to play sports.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, going up. If your kid played water polo, I respect anything that I can't do, and I
Right.
know for damn sure I could not kick my feet and stay afloat and play water polo. So there's things I can't do. I appreciate. Like if I can't do it, I have the most respect for. Like yeah, water polo. Um, what's another sport? There's so many sports. Then it's like I can't. Lacrosse,
Yeah. Yeah.
rugby. Rugby's like, bro, I couldn't go out there and just slam bodies without no pads, no helmet.
Rugby's badass. Yeah, like catch me on the field and I'm ready, bro. I'll knock some heads, but take the pads off. I'm good.
Yeah, so
I'm
no.
good.
So yeah, so basically, I think water polo is a bad example because if you play water polo, especially being if he's anything your side, those dudes are big. Like Michael
Yeah, they
Phelps, that
are.
dude's big.
Yeah,
Like swimmers are big dudes because they can kick.
yeah.
So
Got that
yeah,
reach.
absolutely. What sports? What's your favorite sport? What's your go-to? I seen you dunk a ball because you posted a video with ease. He just jumped up and threw it down.
What's crazy is, man, I don't really watch any sports, to be honest. I don't know if it's a time thing. By the end of the day, me and my wife probably have like an hour or two left. So we end up just watching like a crime doc, a comedy, or something like that. I haven't really been able to keep up in years.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, our new rule is we can't have the TV on at dinner, which we don't really ever have the TV on, but NBA playoffs are going, and I love
Yeah,
the
yeah,
NBA.
yeah, yeah,
Like the regular season's always like whatever, but and I pay attention, but then the playoffs, it's a whole, no, there's no whistles. They just get the ball.
yeah.
But yeah,
It's
what'd you play
crazy, man.
growing up?
The
Oh,
WNBA is going
hmm
off right now. Like I never in my lifetime did I think that like the WNBA would be making so much noise, but
yeah,
they're and I feel like the talent and it's almost like watching like and this might sound sexist, but I don't mean it like that. It's almost the reason why I don't like the NBA personally is because I feel like there's no like real hunger or like that dog, like when they're in college and you can sense like they're trying to get out of a bad situation or they're trying to get this money or whatever. So they play like in a different way. And I think the WNBA, watching them recently a little bit, kind of reminds me of like college basketball with that drive and hunger. But I've tried to watch NBA in the past couple of years, man. And I'm like, y'all are coming down, pulling up from like half court, and then just like trotting back, and that's like the whole time. I'm like, I can't do this.
yeah. That is a downfall with the NBA right now. It's definitely not like what it was when I was growing up and like you're growing up, but yeah, it's something I'm just always gonna love.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but speaking on the WNBA, yeah, they got something to prove. I
yeah,
feel like getting off topic of kids and stuff, but women, I feel like they always have something to prove, which is
yeah,
unfortunate. So, but
yeah.
yeah, so when you found out when you found out you're going to be a dad, um, did you guys do anything in particular to prepare yourselves?
Mm.
You guys have any certain talks like this is what we're going to do? This is, what we gotta.
What's crazy is, man, we had spent so much time married before we even had kids that like those talks kind of came like organically. So when we had our kids or when it was like gearing up, it was never like, all right, well, this is how I would, react in this situation, or these are like my values when it comes to discipline or whatever. We just kind of been on the same page as far as that. We did like a couples group um, that had like some parenting aspects to it and stuff.
Hmm.
But honestly, man, once we got the P stick back, it was like let's just send it. Let's do this.
So
Um,
you guys are just
but yeah, we didn't do too much to really prepare, I guess.
what kind of man were you before your kids?
Uh, I'd say directionless is probably a good way to put it. A little selfish, a little bit more selfish. Um, I've always kind of been like a giving person, but I'd say now I'm definitely, everything goes to my kids and my wife. So definitely took away, made me more selfless, I guess. Um, but yeah, I mean, alcohol, haven't had that in years. Um, I don't know. I guess there's a lot that kind of like shed off, and it's kind of just helped me shape who I am today. But yeah.
Were you a heavy drinker?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
From the time I was like 14, 15 till like 25, 26. um, it got to a point where I was probably drinking like a fifth every other day.
Whew.
Dude, I was doing dumb stuff drunk, like going to the mall. Like I would drink before I went to the mall, or like literally drink before I did anything. Um, and looking back, I'm like, why are you taking shots in the parking lot to go buy clothes? You know, what's wrong with you? But
It's
yeah, I was definitely a heavy drinker.
I absolutely was in my 20s too. One thing I told myself, one thing I look back on, and one thing I wish I stopped way earlier was drinking. I didn't stop until a year ago. So I just passed 400 days. Went from heavy
Congrats.
drinking to like, no, thank you. Went from heavy drinking to like casually drinking, and then one day just being like, why am I even drinking? Like
Yeah,
after just a night out, having one drink, woke up, just like I've been doing this since, yeah, 15, 16. I'm 42. Um, it just doesn't feel like it needs to be part of my life anymore.
yeah,
Um, and actually, it was pretty easy to kick. Is just being around people,
yeah,
asking like
yeah,
why, explaining to them, I just don't want to drink. So it's
yeah,
just so accepted that when you don't want to drink, people just think that it's just weird. So
yeah. Like
yeah,
something's wrong with you.
yeah, exactly. So you and your wife don't drink?
Nah, she'll have like an occasional mixed drink, like
Yeah.
every now and then if she goes out or something. But nah,
That's what did you see? That's one thing too. I'm taking pride in is Cyprus isn't really. I grew up, seeing my parents drink, um, to the point sometimes bad arguments would happen. Mom get arrested, gets taken out. Um, so I look at it like Cyprus is never going to experience that. He
hmm,
doesn't see alcohol in the house. Grandpa, my dad, he's a wine collector, still does his thing, drinks, but a good drinker. Um, and that was me at his time. Me and my dad would always go to the wineries and spend time. So now I'm not doing that with him. Kind of lost a bond, but he still comes over and we kick it. But it's given Cyprus something I never had, which
yeah,
is a clean home, a sober home. You know, so yeah.
yeah.
Did you?
No,
What
I
about you? Did you grow up in a pretty
definitely not
heaven?
sober. Nah. Well, actually, so my dad, he didn't. We used to make fun of him because he would have like a Mike's Hard Lemonade, like one, and it would last him like a week. Like he would sip it. I'm like, why even do it? But my mom, she was a super heavy drinker. Still
Hmm.
is. Which I don't know if it like registered when I was a kid. It wasn't until I got older, and started abusing alcohol myself, and then obviously you know whether you try to get help or just run into different information, and you start to learn like what is excessive drinking, you know. And I'm like thinking about my mom. I'm like, yeah, everybody. I'm sure everybody drinks like 2 bottles of wine every night. Like that's normal, right? And then you start to get the breakdown. You're like, oh shit, like she was an alcoholic. And then you look at how much you're drinking, you're like, I'm a binge drinker, so um yeah, it was definitely present in our home growing up. And
Yeah.
and
That,
to your point, it's something that our kids won't have to worry about.
yeah. Not even think about it. That's I when I started drinking, I just thought it was okay. Like mom does this, dad does this. It's part of the norm. Then you
Yeah.
realize it's not part of the norm. So,
Right.
yeah. What with you being so structured now, where do you think you struggle? Where do you think you struggle the most at right now?
I'd probably say trying to balance everything. I think structure is good, but like when it comes to trying to juggle so many things, it can get a little messed up, or chaotic.
A little.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah, you
trying
got a
to
lot.
figure that out.
Yeah, you got a lot with clients, your your other stuff that we'll talk about at the end, but yeah, it's a lot. So
Yeah.
balancing. So that was my next thing. You find yourself often, which I do, choosing work over your kids at times.
Hmm. Yeah. I'd say yeah. I don't, and with that comes like, one, everything has a season, and obviously that might not apply to your kids. So you're not gonna have like seasons of time with your kids, but um definitely when the work volume is crazy, I've gotta knock it out. And then
Hmm.
find times obviously to spend time with them, and be intentional about it. But I have noticed that it gets shorter and shorter. In which case I just have to be more and more intentional with the time that I do have, making
Hmm.
sure that it's quality time, even whether it's
Hmm.
if I'm with him for like 2 hours, 1 hour that day, then it needs to be like a solid, we're really connecting. Because I think that's what they'll remember, as opposed to me having like ample free time, but it's like lukewarm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, do you block out time for family on your guys' calendar?
No, not on our calendar, but like typically daily, we do. So like today, I'm gonna knock work out, and then we're all gonna walk around the lake for like an hour, hour and a half, catch up. Um, Me and Zay will probably skip some rocks. Raya will crawl around and eat grass. Um, and me and Grace will get our steps in. Um, but yeah, typically once a day, we'll definitely all come together as a family and do something.
I see you guys walking the lake quite a bit.
Hmm. Yeah,
Your
yeah,
kids,
it's
so yeah, see another thing that your kids find within the structure is, end of the day, family connecting,
yeah, for
which,
sure.
you know, and when that's not if that doesn't happen, they'll start probably saying something like when something isn't in line with Psy at age 6,
Hmm.
he brings it up because, he knows wake up, breakfast, school, taekwondo or soccer, come home, family eats dinner, he reads, does homework, we sit down, powwow for a little bit, goes to bed, and we do it again. Sounds
Yeah,
boring as hell, but it's very productive for all of us.
yeah.
Um, and he gets his stuff, and we get our time together. But yeah, when it's something doesn't go the way it was supposed to go, he'll bring it up.
Mm.
So yeah, which puts
Does
you
he
in check.
get
It's like,
does he get like off, like is he anxious about it, or is he just like, hey, like what happened to my affirmations, man? Or is he like
he,
freak out a little bit?
no, he doesn't get anxious about it. Yeah,
Okay.
he just brings it up casually, and then
Yeah.
just explain to him. Like sometimes I'll take him to. I normally take him to the Boys and Girls Club in the morning. They'll take him over to school, but some days I'll let him sleep in just because I think there's certain you see it. Kids are sleeping more,
Hmm. They're
so
growing.
they're growing. And right now, I think he's going through a growth spurt, plus going hard with all of his activities. So if he's not up by 6:15, 6:30 while I'm downstairs reading and he's still sleeping, I'm like, okay, his body needs it. So I'll go wake him up at 7:15. I'll just take him to school
Hmm.
instead. So there's adjustments, and sometimes he'll be upset where he'll be like, I wanted to take the van for the Boys and Girls Club. I'm like, well, uh, I have to explain to him, your body's tired. So that's why
Yeah.
dad let you sleep in. And you're growing. Look at your feet. They're getting huge. I got to go buy new shoes. So, so trying to put in perspective to him so he understands, like, I want to take you there so you can play with your friends before you go to school, but your body needs it. So, because
Yeah.
now he started, learn how to flex. And I'm like, let me see your muscles. He started to flex. And so, like, yeah, when you sleep, your body, gets muscles. So that's
Yep.
one thing I'm trying to teach him too.
That's the
So
same thing I
yeah.
tell Zay every time it's bedtime. If he gives me like any, back talk or freaks out or a tantrum, like, hey, you want to be strong like me and mama? You got to sleep, man. That's where the magic happens. And he's like, okay,
Hmm.
okay, magic, and then he'll go to bed. Like, all right,
Is that what he
good job,
says?
man.
Magic?
Yeah.
That's that's great. What do you guys have we have a hard bedtime, 8 o'clock every night, which um also with being around other parents, they're like, how does Sai go to bed at 8? It's like, well, he listens to us. Like it's a
Right,
non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. He doesn't get to choose his bedtime. We're his
right,
parents. And even if he's not tired, because sometimes he's not, I explain to him, well, just get in bed, lay down, relax, because your body needs to relax.
mm,
So even when we go on family trips and we get an Airbnb with other families, he'll stay in our room because some families let their kids stay up till midnight at 6 and 7, which is fine. It's your kids, but that's sometimes tough because Ty's like, I don't want to go to bed now. I want to play. I'm like, well, that's not how we operate, bro. So
yeah,
do you have a certain time?
yeah. So we get ride down, no later than 7:30. Goal is 7 to 7:30. It depends on nap time and stuff during the day, and then
Yeah, yeah, he's
Zay,
still taking naps. Yeah.
mm and then Zay's
Hmm.
8 to 8:30, depending on nap time.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty structured.
yeah, we just switched it to 8 o'clock, I think 6 months ago. It used to be 7:30.
Mm,
And yeah, parents were like, wait, 7:30 for a first grader? I'm like, he does it. He's fine with it,
yeah,
like, you know, it's kind of like, kids coming over to our house and we don't have iPads and video games, parents are like, how did you guys do it? Like, you just rip the Band-Aid. It's going to suck for the first month. They're going to
yeah,
scream and have a shit fit about it. But eventually, if you fill that screen time with productive time and show them that they can do other things like ride a bike and go on a run while they ride a bike, they don't even think about the screen. Sai doesn't
right.
even care that he doesn't have an iPad. We got him a was it Nintendo Switch, and
Mm.
he never asks to play it. We tell him he can play it. He doesn't even ask. We're like, yo, bro, you wanna play 30 minutes of Minecraft? He's like, oh, okay, sure. And then sometimes he doesn't even finish his 30 minutes. He just turns it off and walks away. It's like, all right, whatever. Like,
That's awesome.
so, but no, that's a hard technology's a very difficult thing right now. So
Yeah, I can't imagine, man. I mean, just battling with screen time when it comes to like the TV is enough. So I know I've been seeing kids like super young, like 4 or 5, 6, having their own iPads, and I'm like, what are you doing with that?
even phones, parents be giving
Yeah,
them phones like a
yeah,
phone number. Like, no.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, you're the parent. That this iPad's not the parent. So if your kid's
right.
having a tantrum, figure it out. Let them have a tantrum. Let them
Hmm.
work out their feelings. Don't give them the iPad and expect that things are going to be better when they get older. Because
Yeah, right.
what are you gonna do when your 14, 15, 16 year old throws a tantrum? Like,
Yep,
go buy them that BMW that they want. Like, that's what they're
exactly.
gonna think. So yeah, we had to nip that in the butt real quick. And just watching. That's one thing we observed, and said we definitely don't want this.
Yeah.
Observing friends and family. Like, no, we love our friends and family, but we're not. No way in hell. I'm not gonna allow Cypress to slap me in the face because I took his iPad away.
Oh
So,
no, nah, nah, nah.
so, so, but yes.
But you do
Oh
see it
man. Oh, bro, we see it every day. Wait till your kids get into elementary school. It's
all
yeah,
the time.
yeah. You definitely understand why Homer Simpson strangled Bart so many times. Let's go back. Yeah, let's go back to work and dad. How are you trying to balance ambition and presence?
Yeah, so honestly, man, just trying to involve them in it, So
Ooh,
thankfully,
yeah.
I do work from home, so just having Zay and Raya around, showing them what I'm doing, explaining them what I'm doing, or if I'm talking to a client, explaining like how something is working in their body, and Zay comes up and he's like, "What's this?" or "What are you doing?" Just tell him, and kind of have them a part of the process. And then even with like bodybuilding and prep and stuff like that, you know, taking them to the gym, posing with them, you know, um, just fully integrating them into what I have going on. So that, you know, my success is their success because they, you know, we're all doing this together. It's a team effort. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen those pictures of Rye and you flexing in the mirror,
Mm,
doing your guys' thing. So yeah,
yeah.
that's super cool. Yeah, and it's highly and it's I'm pretty sure your kids are going to follow the same structure as you, because how we were just talking about, you know, some kids veer to the left. Um, the way your kids I see on social media just replicating almost every single thing that you do,
Mm,
it's pretty darn cool. So
I appreciate that, man.
especially whipping up the eggs. That's
Yeah.
huge. Let's
I
get
was
into that.
impressed. I was
Yeah,
impressed.
yeah,
Watching him crack eggs with, you know, no shells or anything. I'm like, okay, I see
yeah,
you.
yeah. So let's get into that. Um, how we feed our kids because it's huge in our household. Like it's to the point where Cypress, I'm the sweet tooth of the family, and he'll call me out real quick if I have something that is unhealthy. Um, you know, we sit. He knows what his carbs are. He knows what carbs do.
Yeah.
Pancakes that gives you your energy. The proteins build your muscles. Fruits and vegetables, vitamins and minerals. So he's very well educated on what we're eating and why we're eating it. Um, and I see you doing that with your sons and
Mhm.
family. Do you do they even ask for chicken nuggets and anything like that?
Yes. Yes, because we do have cheat meals. Yesterday we
Okay, we
actually
all
had
have cheat meals. Yeah, we all
yeah,
have
yeah.
that.
So their thing is French fries. That's what they'll ask for. But I know what you're asking as far as like are they always craving, you know, chips and Doritos and all that junk? No. Which is a huge blessing, especially at this age. Well, at any age really, but I think a lot of parents they'll feed their kids complete trash and then expect them to act like they're okay or like the sugar isn't going to affect their body like that or the hormone suppressants aren't going to jack them up. Like you can't, you know, give your kids junk and then expect them to be functioning the way that they're supposed to or the way that you want them to.
Hmm.
So and I mean that just comes down to accountability and you know self responsibility because it's on us. So making sure that we're going out of our way to read the ingredients list, making sure that everything is clean, which my wife is huge on as well. It definitely helps put them in a better place emotionally, and physically and spiritually. So yeah, that's mandatory, and that's across the board. That's my kids, that's clients, that's everybody. Like nutrition, what you put in your body is so important. Um, so important.
Yeah, it's your gasoline, man. So, yeah, we have cheat meals. And speaking of French fries, it's not my cheat meal, but Lena and Cypress love. Have you ever heard of Potato Corner?
Potato corner.
Yeah, it's a place. We have one in the mall, but it's just you can order fries and do different seasonings. Mine's Cinnabon. I love my Cinnabon,
Oh,
which I
that
haven't had
sounds
since
so
you.
good.
I haven't had since your program, but yeah, that's when you give me the opportunity to have a cheat meal, I'm going straight to fucking Cinnabon,
Nice.
and I'm going to get down. Um, like I love Coca-Cola,
Mm,
so I drink Zevia. Now I drink Zevias, which you know they still aren't the best, but definitely health eating is super mandatory in our family. Like if we do go out, it's normally like Korean barbecue,
mm.
something that's still along the lines of pretty dang healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, you get down with the what do you get down with the In and Out?
In and out, man. In and out. I don't know why. I fell for the hype, but I love it, man. Yeah. Yesterday I had four double doubles. Um, so and I want it right now. Obviously I can't, but
So you can have those while you're prepping for your show. That's in what, 6 weeks?
5 weeks. Yeah,
5
yeah,
weeks.
yeah, yeah. Based on where I'm at and how I'm looking. Yeah.
Nice. Do you have a coach? I never asked if you had a coach.
I coach myself.
Okay. But did you have a coach before at some point in time?
Uh, yeah, for my first show, I had one for about 3 weeks before my first show. Um, and then not since then.
So you just kind of self-taught in a way, common sense.
Definitely not common sense, like a shit ton of research and education. um,
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
yeah,
Common
because like,
sense with the research.
yeah, yeah. So like with lifestyle coaching and that type of progress, it's a lot easier. Um, it's just yeah, it's a lot easier. But with bodybuilding prep and stuff like that, every single detail matters, and it's not really suggested to self coach. It's kind of looked down upon. Um, but I wanted to do it just to see if I could. Um, it's definitely an extra challenge. Um, so it's something I chose to do to kind of push myself a little bit harder.
I've heard that because I have a couple buddies around here that do physique competitions and everything, and I've heard that many times is it is looked down upon
hmm
self-coaching.
hmm
Why?
That's a good question. I think well, it leaves a lot of room for you to mess up, and you know, um, yeah. Honestly, that's the only reason that I can think of, aside from just like a stigma. Um, but I don't, you know me, I don't really care.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, I
And
never,
it's weird though. It is weird, but
but yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wrap my head around it. And I've had two coaches since 16 working out with my dad, and you're my second one. And I've
mm,
done one before. And, I just took it as a sign when you say, hey, you want to do a 6-month program? Like, hernia surgery's done. I kind of want to do something different because if I go in, I'm just going to do the same shit, which works. But I haven't had, and I call them accountability bullies. I
yeah,
haven't had accountability bully for a long time besides myself, which I'm good at beating myself up. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, why the fuck not? Let's do this. So
hell yeah,
yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying some of the workouts that I haven't done in like 15 years. So yeah, so I'm
nice.
like, oh man, I haven't done this forever. So and yeah, I'm loving it. Um, so I sent you a bunch of questions before we did this, and one of the questions you said you lead from the front.
Mhm.
What does that mean? What does that look like day to day, leading from the front?
Yeah, I mean, essentially everything that kind of wraps up everything that we just talked about and how we lead the household, man. Making sure that I'm not sitting here like barking orders to my sons and telling them what to do, but also showing them how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or always doing it first and leading by example. That way, people want to follow. You know, if you're leading the way from the front and putting in the work and setting that standard, then people are gonna follow. But if you're sitting in the back telling them what to do and where to go, but you're not in the trenches with them, you're not leading the way. I'm not gonna have any respect for you. You know what I mean? So obviously I feel like it's the same with kids and family and stuff. If I'm gonna require something of them, I need to set myself to a way higher standard. You know?
Absolutely. Setting the example is the number one thing I think kids need from their father. Um, just seeing, going back to sports, just seeing how many dads there are that coach that probably can't run a lap, but make these kids run laps. Just makes
Right.
me like, just like, why should any kid? I've never had an out of shape coach. Luckily, all my coaches through life were, they hooped, they knew how to throw on the pads, and knew they looked like a coach. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. Besides Andy Reid, I feel like coaches should be should be in top notch shape
Yeah.
and setting the example. So yeah, with everything we spoke about, from what we put in our mouth, how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to others. Yeah, definitely leading from the front. I definitely see how that is setting the example. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you're absolutely doing that. So
Yeah, I appreciate that,
yeah,
man.
yeah. What are non-negotiables as a man, as a dad?
Non-negotiables, for myself and then household as well is, it's gonna be integrity for sure. Always, always, always striving to do what's right. I also don't remember what I put on this sheet, but um, yeah, so integrity, um, and then just I'd probably say second would be loving and caring. Well, not second, but loving and caring about everyone around them, and just treating everybody with love and respect for sure. I feel like with those two things, like you can get pretty far in life. A lot of times easier said than done, but I mean, that's it's foundational to just
Yeah,
being a
it
good human.
it definitely is hard to um yeah, integrity is super huge. But respect is definitely hard to give people respect. I mean, everybody gets to start off with the respect, but a lot of people, will burn that bridge real quick,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
it's a disappointing when you give them, you know, an open, give them a plate, give them your plate, and then they, crush your plate.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's why we
Have
teach
you?
them discernment, be able to understand when that happens and when to move on and not stay too long and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah. What do you think a majority of dads are present and in shape?
present and in shape? No,
Yeah.
no, definitely not. Present, I think that we are around more, especially this generation of dads. I think we're physically around more. But when it comes to being actually present, I think that's something that we're all kind of trying to maneuver, as far as that quality of presence. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, but I will say I think that the dads right now are probably more present than the generation before,
Hmm.
from what I've seen.
Yeah. So most of your days are pretty structured. Sounds like, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, it's pretty much dialed in. But
Hmm.
having two under two, give me an example where everything went wrong in a day for you. And how do you adjust that, especially with the show coming up,
Yeah,
eating, change the diapers, you know,
yeah,
you got a
yeah,
you got a lot going. All your, I don't know how many clients you have, but communicating with your clients.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it can get intense, man. Worst day. Let's see. Well,
Do you get a
actually,
lot of anxiety? Or do you control it pretty well?
you said, do I get a lot of anxiety?
Yeah, do you control it pretty well? Because that's a lot. Because I have a lot with running my businesses and coaching, dad, relationship, and I feel that
Right.
anxiety every day. There's not a day I
Yeah.
don't feel it.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. It's definitely lots and lots of anxiety. Um, but I think controlling it, not necessarily trying to hold it together, but expressing it out helps me. That's one of the reasons why I stay, consistent in the gym, is for that outlet. It kind of helps me get into my body and out of my head for, at least an hour, hour and a half. And that way I'm, refreshed and able to attack whatever issues with the business or whatever I have going on, for that day. Um, but back to your question as far as worst day, last week they both had hand, foot, and mouth disease, which
Mm,
I had never heard of, man. Never heard of that. But they both got it. So I'm up late with one of my sons, Raya, the 10-month-old, trying to get him down, trying to get him to sleep. Um, it's probably up two, three times at night at like two, three, four. Then my youngest, my oldest, Zay, he gets up around 6:15, 6:30. So I'm up with him, getting breakfast ready, and then so I can get out the door and get to cardio. But days and nights like that kind of just throw. everything off because obviously, I'm exhausted the rest of the day. Still got to show up for 80 plus clients, make sure I'm checking in, talking to everybody, and that they're good to go. Um, Obviously, still showing up for my wife, but yeah, I think the way that you adjust is just perspective and understanding that that shitty day is it is what it is. You just do your best you can to stick to what you can. Um, and then at times just try to find gratitude in it too. Um, at the end of the day, I got to hang out with my son all night. My other one woke up in the morning, sick but happy, um, and fed. So I think perspective goes a long way too, with battling and navigating anxiety.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that night was the night that we were texting and you
Hmm.
said to do the same because yeah, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that was the night. You're like,
it
oh yeah,
was.
sorry for texting you so late. My son's sick and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, I totally I totally understand, man. I get it. Let me shoot some quick questions to you. Um, how does how does a dad being out of shape affect his family? And
Mm,
you can hurt feelings. So,
yeah, a couple different ways. I mean, one, you're gonna be sloppier. You know, I think that I'm a big believer in how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if that's how you're approaching your physical body, like what do your finances look like? How's your relationship with your wife? Um, all those things, and your kids see this as well. Um, Second, you look like an easy target. Like it is our job to protect, our family, and if you're walking around with them and looking, like a slump, then you better be able to protect. I don't know. I just think that that representation it says so much about your ability to show up, you know, for your family. If you can't show up for yourself, like that's a whole nother story. So um yeah. And then on the flip side, if you're able to, it really brings everyone together, kind of on one mission, one goal. It just makes that bond a little bit tighter.
hmm buddy at the gym, he has a 2-year old and is expecting one on the way. He's about your age, I think 34. And I told him, one of the best feelings in the world is when you walk into a parent teacher conference with all the other parents and
Hmm.
you're the only fit dad. Like, I don't know what it is, but you just realize how many dads just lose themselves
Yeah,
and for what reason.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the reason is just an excuse,
Hmm.
and the excuse is because they had fucking kids.
Right. It's like, yeah, no
And
shit, we all do.
yeah, and then I think to myself, what how does a woman even want to be with that kind of mentality?
Yeah,
Like, like I don't, you know, I feel like in a relationship you should set standards. I don't think Lena wants to be walking in to the bedroom with a beer belly, and not
right.
being able to touch my toes, you know. Um, so yeah, out of shape dads. This is how I look at it. An out of shape dad is is a, you're being disrespectful to your family in
Mm,
so many ways. From your health, I see. I know dads that's their dad passed away from a heart attack, and they're living the same lifestyle,
yeah,
and they have that big belly, and they don't do nothing besides go to work and make money, which is, yeah, make the money for the family. But what's the point of having the money if you guys can't live and enjoy that money?
right,
So
right.
yeah, I think it's super disrespectful if you're a dad and you're out of shape. It just says you don't care about. I don't think you care about your kids. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
so might hurt people's feelings, but I don't care. It just angers me seeing out of shape dads. There's just no excuse. how does what changes what changes when a man does take control of his body? What do you've coached a lot of dads. What are the
Hmm.
big what are give me some things that have changed in dads that you have coached that you see.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost is confidence, which ends up transcending every area of their life. You know, I have a guy, he'll lose like 10 or 15 pounds, start to see some abs or whatever. All of a sudden, his chest is poking out. He's texting me like, "Hey, coach, like, me and my wife, we haven't been intimate in this amount of time. Yesterday, for the first time and whatever, we finally, um, and it starts carrying over to their finances, their careers. It's something that, and life is chaotic, as we've talked about throughout this entire talk. So having something that you can, take full accountability, responsibility, and control over, um, is your body. And once you get that in check, you're able to attack other things. So typically it's confidence, and that drives everything.
That so the confidence is basically the biggest thing that you see in men, which is huge because a lot of men don't have confidence.
They don't,
Yeah.
and a lot of times they'll have fake confidence, and I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But that's a huge problem in society as well. But that's another talk. But yeah, confidence is definitely key. One of the key things that they gain through getting in shape. You know, self-respect.
Here's yeah, so here's one thing. I feel too with social media, a lot of men see a small amount of men that, you're in where you're being a dad, you're physically fit, and you're structured. And sometimes I feel like that can crush a dad's confidence,
Mm,
but that should also, I don't want to say, I don't like the word motivated, but inspire
yeah,
them to, send a message to you or use AI or Google to figure out how to get to that level of, you know, confidence.
yeah,
So
and that's the point, man. It's never it's never to like shit on anybody, or tear anybody down, but it's like, look, I'm a regular guy. Like, if I can do this, like, you can too. The only thing that's keeping you back are these bullshit excuses that you're putting up, and those are going to be as real as you allow them to be. The I don't have time, I have kids, like, I'm too tired. Like, yeah, no shit, we're all tired. You can be tired and ripped, or you can be tired and fat. Like, those are your two options. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
so yeah, that's, it's a choice.
you're
It's
going to
all a
be tired
choice.
no matter what.
Yeah, you're gonna be tired, so choose how you want that to look.
Oh man, yeah. What kind of man do you hope your kids see when they look back at you when it's all said and done?
Mm. Someone who loved them deeply, would go to war go to war for them if necessary, and never broke his word. Yeah, dedicated.
Dedicated, dedicated to being a dad.
Yeah,
What's something no one warned you about? Because there's no blueprint to being a dad.
yeah.
What's something nobody warned you about that you wish you knew before you became a
Mm.
dad?
Probably just being on 24/7. You know, especially with, I have no idea what it's like to raise older kids or anything, but with these babies, it's like from, you know 4:30, 4:45, all the way until they go to bed. It's like you're constantly on. Um, so yeah, that's something I wasn't expecting. I don't know why, because obviously they're in your life, but but yeah.
What's one habit today that every dad should start? A habit a dad should start today.
Mm, that's a good question. Obviously, get in the gym, but to start small, I'd say move. Um, do some push-ups, take a walk, start pouring into yourself physically.
Biggest mistakes dads are making right now.
Mm. Thinking that biggest mistakes dads are making right now. Let's say thinking that they have more time than they do. Um, I think being intentional with your time with your kids is really important. And, we've talked about being present in everything. And I think when you're not present, it's a lack of awareness of the time that you may or may not have with, your family.
Hmm. Absolutely, man. Time at 43, I look back. Um, yeah, there's so much things I would change in time. I respect so much every day to the
Mm,
point where um, I tell people when they're late to something or they even miss something, I straight tell them you're being disrespectful because you only get so much time in life. And when
mm.
you're late to something, you're basically telling that person or me that my time does not matter at
Yeah,
all, and you don't care about my time in life. So
yeah.
yeah, I love that. Time is so important. Time with your kids, time with your wife. Yeah, absolutely. So where can they find you? Where can everybody find Coach Jay? Do you want to give your real name?
Yeah, we can. So my real name is Jalen. I don't really go by that, but yeah, it's my
Yeah,
real name.
yeah.
Go by Jay, but you can find me at the underscore Coach J. And that's on Instagram.
And you're push and you let's talk about Death to Dad Bod.
Yeah, yeah, that's a Dad Bod. That's it's my program, and also an app that I just launched as well, specifically for busy dads, trying to get in shape, feel unstuck, and go to that next level. And that's physically and mentally, gets you out of that rut.
And if dads want access to this app, they
Mhm.
got to contact you, sign up for your program, and then they get access to the app, all your courses one on one. Um,
Correct.
you sit down with them kind of like you did with me, get to know me a little bit on what I'm doing. You obviously are following my hernia recovery, and you give them a specific workout plan designed for that dad for where he's at physically.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
and that comes with the meal planning.
Oh yeah, nutrition is number one. Yes,
Hmm.
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
So nutrition, strength training, all that is included.
Okay. So what about you want to talk a little bit about vitality?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
All right.
Uh-uh.
How about if anybody wants to know about vitality, they can go to you
Yep.
and get some coaching
Yep. Yep.
and go from there. But from a client that's been working with you for 3 weeks, it's been fun. It's been great. So I highly recommend you. Um, Looking forward to seeing the progress of doing your workouts because it's definitely different from mine. Um, not a whole lot different, but there's certain things that are a little different with. But like I say, getting out of your norm, I think, provides a lot of growth.
Yeah,
You know,
100%, man. Yeah.
yeah, and just
Yeah.
having somebody that can connect with you, weekly, and know that you're watching me and you're gonna call me out if I send in pictures on Friday that aren't aren't looking better and better each week. Like
Right.
you've been
Right.
eating, you've been eating that Cinnabon.
Exactly. Exactly. I knew you ate that damn Cinnabon, man.
So, well, shit, bro. I know this isn't our last talk. I know we're going to be talking quite a bit as you grow as a dad, as your kids grow, as I grow. So yeah, I appreciate you connecting, and we'll just keep connecting, bro. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right.
I
Well, everybody
appreciate you,
go
brother.
appreciate you. Go follow Coach Jay, and if you need some accountability, I highly recommend him. So,
I'm your guy.
all right.
All right, brother.